Welcome to A Kind Life. Today I'm very grateful to have Lara Young here with me. How are you going, Lara?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you, Alicia?
Yes, good, thank you. Well, I'm excited that we've finally been able to meet. It has been a little bit of a
Yes,
long time coming, so thanks for being here tonight. So,
thanks
for,
for having me.
Thank you, my pleasure. So, for people who may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and what gets you up in the morning.
So I'm originally from the UK. You can probably tell from the accent. I moved to Australia about 12 years ago. I am a mother, a wife, a businesswoman, so lots to juggle. What gets me up in the morning is being passionate about my life. I'm passionate about the business that I'm building, passionate about my family and the 3 children that I'm raising, but also passionate about myself and my self-development and making sure that there's that balance there. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
I guess maybe because, I've come across you on Instagram as part of VEats. Let's start there. Let's
Yeah.
sort of start at that point. I know it's probably towards the end of your story, but I feel like it's a good way to get people to understand you're talking about business and being a business lady or woman. So tell us about that.
Yes, sure. Well, I guess the best way to describe it is maybe starting with my journey
Sure.
to veganism, if we can do that, because I didn't grow up eating plant-based or a vegan. I was a meat eater until about 5 years ago, and at that time I was running multiple businesses. Was quite overweight. I probably wasn't looking after myself as much as I should do, and kids, and as I said, juggling all those things. And I watched a documentary called What the Health, and from that moment my entire life changed. I know other people that have watched it and not the same thing has happened, but for me it was instant. Something switched in my mind to kind of say everything that you thought about food, everything you thought about what you've been eating and why you're eating it, was challenged in a way that I just couldn't ignore. And I instantly transitioned to a plant-based lifestyle from that day, from the second I finished watching that documentary. But I guess it is a journey. So I had to learn about a new way of eating, cooking, all these different things, but also educating myself on why am I doing this, and what happened was my level of consciousness about the world, about myself, about everything that I was doing, just grew. And I think at the beginning, that was my own journey, but as I moved further along and wanting to tell people about how amazing that I was feeling and this amazing journey that I'd been on, for me it wasn't enough just to talk to people. So I had to come up with a way that I could make a change, without necessarily being an activist or anything like that, or speaking. So for me, the idea for VEats came about because I found it really difficult to actually find local businesses in my local restaurants in my area that had vegan options. Where do I go? Ordering food, not knowing if it was vegan, getting non-vegan cheese being delivered, and it was just a really difficult process. So that's kind of where the idea for VEats came about. And the idea was to make it easy and accessible for anyone, not just vegans, but people who want to try plant-based food in their local area. So worked on that as a passion project for a couple of years, and then finally launched in January this year. So we've been live now just over 3 months. And it's amazing. It's amazing to finally be doing something that I am completely and truly passionate about.
And so explain, for people who may not know VEats, explain to us how it works.
Sure. So at the moment, we have our pilot platform launched. We're in the middle of developing the app. But essentially, it's about finding local businesses, local restaurants in your area that offer plant-based food. So you're able to go onto the website at the moment. You're able to search in your local area. As I said, we just launched in Sydney, and you'll be able to see all the restaurants, whether they're fully plant-based or whether they have plant-based options. You'll be able to make a reservation, and you'll also be able to be guided through in terms of where to get delivery as well. So it's a one-stop destination, whether you want to go out for a date night and check out a new restaurant, whether you want a delivery, whether you want to pick that up. So it's just making plant-based eating easy and accessible in your local area.
And I'm guessing that would have been like quite a challenge, starting something like that, because I'm thinking, you're almost pioneering this sort of platform, aren't you? So where did you get, I suppose, your ideas and inspiration and motivation to keep pushing through some of those challenges?
Definitely, for me, the first idea, of course, it feels like a mountain to climb. I was really lucky enough that my business partner for 8 years also is vegan and went on this journey with me. So I was actually meditating when I first had the idea, because I was thinking about the 3 things that I do, and essentially I'm either going to go out, so I'm going to pick it up, or I'm going to get a delivery. So I knew I wanted to combine those things. But having that other person around me, having someone that, I'd worked with for so many years as well, that definitely helped. And we slowly but surely started to evolve the idea. And then as we got closer to kind of establishing how we wanted to do it and what the steps were to take, it's about then getting the right people around you. We're really lucky to have a team of around 10 people now, all who share a common goal and passion for creating a more sustainable world. So that's definitely helped, is surrounding yourself with people that, we don't know everything. You can't possibly know everything. So in that startup world, you're wearing multiple hats. So the key for us was finding people that not only aligned with, what we're doing, but also were experts in their own field. So that's definitely, I would say, our key to success, of being able to get it from idea to launch.
Yeah. And so do businesses approach you, or do you get the lovely task of actually going out and finding these restaurants and eateries yourselves?
It's a bit of both. We all use the excuse that we have to do market research and go out and eat as much vegan food as possible. But look, it's a business at the end of the day, and people are busy. We launched during the peak of COVID in Sydney, so that was a real challenge. And of course, we're here to help businesses. And when businesses are struggling, a new platform, something new, and they haven't got staff and people have got COVID, that was definitely a challenge. But it's working around it. It's talking to people about what the challenges that they're having, coming back to them, and visiting them, calling them, emailing them, whatever way we can. But also, I've found, especially within the vegan community of restaurants, everybody wants to help everyone. It's quite an incredible space to work in. Very different to what I've been used to. So that was amazing. I mean, right at the beginning, I myself made many phone calls to businesses when we were first starting, and it was just incredible. You'd speak to one and they'd introduce you to another 3, and they're just so supportive and giving feedback. So it's been a really great experience, actually, working with the restaurants.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And something else I love too is that, you share on your social media, you share a lot of the, food and content, or you create the content to show, all these different eateries, like their amazing food, and really highlight. It's almost another level, rather than just a restaurant promoting themselves. You guys are also helping to promote and show to maybe potentially a different audience, which is really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, look, this platform is not just for vegans. I mean, there's 10 million Australians that are reducing their meat intake and eating plant-based food. I mean, over 90% of plant-based meals are eaten by non-vegans. So we're appealing to anyone that's interested in trying plant-based food. And we're making plant-based food the hero. We're showcasing it. Social media is great. I mean, it's a lot of our staff are this young generation that are, you know, really hungry for change. And, you know, we do guides, and we're just trying to really educate people on how much incredible vegan or plant-based food there is out there, here in Sydney, in Melbourne, all over Australia, all over the world. So that's, you know, that's the education piece that we're trying to do.
And so you obviously mentioned that you've got plans of, you know, it spreading out across the country. You know, do you also have plans of it going internationally?
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. So as I said, the app is due out later this year. It's in development at the moment. Then we will expand into Melbourne and other cities across Australia. We have plans to launch in the UK in the next couple of years, but lots of work to do here first.
Yeah. And I know that you mentioned, you know, at the start of the interview that you've had experience, you know, in other businesses. Is that something you would like to share, I guess, in maybe your learnings that you've then taken to your new business?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been involved in startups, large businesses, running huge, big sales teams. But in Australia, most recently with my business partner, we've run a successful digital marketing agency for the last 8 years. So definitely that experience, having 8 years in that industry has helped massively. My business partner's got a background in marketing as well. For me, it's always been about the sales side of things, but I've never actually had something that I was truly passionate about. So combining that together for me is just a dream, you know. But yeah, I think, you know, being involved in multiple startups, that fast-paced environment, having run my own business, had staff over the years, the challenges, also being remote as well, and you know what we're dealing with COVID, we're used to that environment with the agency. So I think, yeah, I mean, everything from starting out in my dad's company, picking and packing boxes in the warehouse, and moving into every division, every part of my career has led me, I feel, to this moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And do you try and collaborate? Like, I'm just thinking in terms of, you know, often at different times of the year, like Veganuary or No Meat May, you know, potentially, you know, that's a great opportunity to capture more of the, you know, non-plant-based or non-vegan community and help them find these options.
Yeah, I mean, we planned the launch in January to coincide with Veganuary, so it's definitely something that we, you know, we're focused on in key periods, and like you said, all the key focal points throughout the year. But for us, it's all year, you know. It's about educating people all year long about plant-based food and how wonderful it can be.
Yeah. And how long ago was it that you went vegan?
5 years.
Yeah. And I'm guessing at that time, you know, you may not have thought that eventually this would turn into a business and a you know, a career for yourself. So that's really exciting that in that short time it's changed so much.
It's changed my whole life. I mean, you know, I think initially I was definitely excited about being healthy, right? Feeling healthy, losing weight, trying something different. And I did. I lost, you know, 25 kilos. I, you know, felt the best I'd ever felt in my life. My nails started growing. My hair was great. I felt happier. But then, yeah, the consciousness, the level of consciousness that it gave me, that for me was a really big thing. I almost felt like I was asleep before. And I owe turning vegan to that and a lot of other things in my life. I feel happier, healthier, more motivated, and yeah, it's great to finally have something to be passionate about personally. And yeah, I never imagined I'd have a business that that was you know, going to have something to do with veganism, but that's what's happened, and I couldn't be happier.
And at the time, I'm not too sure of the age of your kids, Lara. So, you know, were they around in this transition, or are they plant-based now? How's that sort of working for your family?
Yeah, so I have two beautiful stepchildren and one daughter with my husband. And we're a kind of blended family, you know, 1 week with their mum and 1 week it's all of us together. So yeah, they were all around. My husband was really supportive. He was a pescatarian for around 3 or 4 years to come. Yeah, he was definitely supportive. He's fully vegan now, and he's never felt better or looked better in his life. The kids, you know, it was difficult with the kids, because the older ones, you know, my two stepkids are 15 and 13. My daughter is 8. All of them went vegetarian on their own. So I didn't enforce anything on any of them. I educated them. I cooked amazing food for them. And they one by one made their own decisions to stop eating meat. You know, they still have their cheese, they still have their chocolate. And I think as they grow older, they can make their own decisions about that. But you know, for me, it's always about, it's not about telling somebody to do something. For me, it's about cooking them it. It's about showing them the food. That's how I work. That's how I work with anybody that I talk about veganism. It's my own journey. This is what's happened for me. This is how I feel. And try my food.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing, you know, that some of your friends or family that saw that transformation or transition within you, you know, that would have sparked their curiosity and started a conversation that you were able to engage in, and more from that kind of, you know, interested place, not you forcing it onto them.
Yeah, of course, they all showed interest, and at times they supported it. And when the family came over from the UK to here, they, you know, my mom and my stepfather, they ate vegan food the whole time they were here. And then they go back, and I definitely feel like, you know, it rubs off on them, and they'll eat more plant-based food. Have I turned them vegan? No. Have I turned anyone vegan? Yes. There are friends that are fully vegan now, but it's not about that for me. Like, I'm not out there to convince everybody to go vegan. I'm just here to talk about my journey and to be able to showcase the amazing plant-based food that you can actually eat.
It's pretty impressive. That it sounds like you'd be an amazing cook, and then, you know, you've also got great recommendations of where people should go if they want to have a night out or a meal, you know, take out, which is really awesome.
Oh, I'm a big foodie. Like, I grew up, my father was a big foodie, our whole family are a big foodie, my husband is, like, the kids, you know, food is, it's like every night we sit down and eat a meal, every single night without fail. It's a huge part of our life. So it made sense that I would kind of launch a business that had something to do with food eventually.
Yeah. And I'm thinking as well, you know, that as time progresses, you know, this is only going to inspire more people can eventually, you know, look at making veganism as part of their, you know, their income. As you were saying, it's such a remote society now that there's so many ways that we can do that. And as the interest in veganism continues to grow, it's such a great opportunity to integrate that into an income stream, which is like something you wouldn't have thought about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can see that happening more and more. I mean, what's been amazing is actually going out there and, you know, every time we put a job up for VEats, like it's amazing to see the people that we're interviewing and talking to, and how they're like, oh my God, finally there's something like this that we can, you know, it's happening. There's still not loads out there, and we feel that when we put a job up, that, you know, we have a lot of applicants. I mean, it's great for us. We have a huge pool of talent there that we can tap into as we grow. But even ambassadors, volunteers, you know, there's a lot of things that people can get involved in. But I think more and more businesses are evolving, and you know, it's only going to grow for sure.
And would you say that, part of veganism for yourself that you love might be that community? Like, I personally know that, I've made such great friendships in this community. And like you said, people are always willing to help, whether it be if you're running an event for like a fundraiser or a charity, everyone is really willing to come together and support each other in a cause.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely feel like you're part of something special. Absolutely. And that's not just the team that I have, it's no matter who I speak to that is vegan, that for whatever business reason. Yeah, you definitely feel like there is this really strong community. Absolutely. I mean, I've never experienced that before, being vegan and having a business and now interacting with so many like-minded people. It's definitely special.
And I would say as well, I'm obviously from close to Melbourne, but I recently went to Sydney a couple of months ago, and there is a great vegan community there. I went to the Sydney Vegan Market, and that was pretty astonishing. Yes. We don't have anything like that on a monthly basis in Melbourne, so I definitely think you're ahead of the game.
There is one coming up. I'm sure there's one coming up. Yeah, we were at two Sydney vegan markets. We had a stand there educating people. I mean, it's great. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I didn't even realize until I started VEats. I mean, we have over 1,000 listings on the directory now, on the platform, that have either vegan options or are fully vegan. Like, we're spoilt for choice, and I know Melbourne is even better. So it's great to see.
Yeah, we actually, this weekend is the big vegan market, which is at the old exhibition
exactly.
building. Yeah, so that's for a weekend.
Exactly.
And then later in the year, we have World Vegan Day, which is a one-day event. But we're not lucky enough to have something every month like you guys are. So I'm pretty jealous.
Yeah, no, it's a great event. I'll try and convince them to come over to Melbourne.
Please do.
It's a great event, though.
Sounds like you've got some good influence. So I'd be very grateful.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
And is there anything, in your personal life, Lara, that you might like to share? You are a busy person. So I guess, how do you find that balance between business and your family and just finding time for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. And I haven't always got it right. And I think it's about not beating yourself up about not getting it right all the time. So I think that's the first thing. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when we are mothers and wives and business women and doing all three. But I think if you just always remember, for me, when I started looking after myself and started meditating and started walking and started saying that I don't have to be 100 miles an hour all the time, I can actually take this hour at 8 o'clock in the morning and I can go and walk. And then after that, I don't have to go straight in the office. I can actually do yoga, I can meditate, I can have my breakfast. I think starting with yourself and carving out that time for you automatically gives you that mental balance. And then for me, it was about making sure that I can be present. So when I'm in my office, I'm completely focused. When I'm finished, it's about trying, and I'm not saying it always happens, but it's about trying to put the phone down and the notifications and the emails, looking at your kids, really spending time with them. I think that dinner, sitting down as a family every night and talking to your family, I think that's important. But it's not easy. And I think you just have to, there's tools out there to help you create that balance. And I think if you can use those tools, definitely meditation for me is a great tool. Walking is a great tool. So yeah, look after yourself first. And I think then you'll find the balance.
Yeah, it's great advice. And I definitely do think, a lot of us have great food memories, like family times and things like you're saying, from sitting around a dinner table for a special event, or even just a dinner, it might have been first day after school or finishing uni or something like that. So a lot of our culture here in Australia is around food, and it's great that we can have such a positive experience with food, and also it contribute to a healthy lifestyle and to a better planet for animals and for everyone. So I think it's exciting that you're part of, something so much bigger. So thank you so much. Is there anything that we might have missed, Lara, that you wanted to share before we finish up?
I don't think so. I mean, just telling everyone to check out VEats, veats.com.au. If we've missed any listings, people can go and actually add a listing. So that would be great. Reviews, supporting these restaurants is really important to us. And yeah, just watch out for the app in the next few months. And thank you for having me on today.
Thank you. And did you happen to have a favorite quote that you would like to share?
I do, yes. So this quote for me, represents my father. It's no guts, no glory. And that's how I live. You can have an idea, you can have thoughts about what you want to be, what you want your future to be, what you want to do for yourself. But if you don't really go and just have the guts to do it, you may well fail, but you may well get the glory. And that's what I live by.
Yeah. No, I love it. And I'm really excited to see, the future of VEats and what you guys do, because I was really excited when I saw it come live and can't wait for it to come to Melbourne. So thank you again for sharing it with us and with the listeners. And I'm sure they'll jump across onto your social media and on the website and check out what you're doing.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Thank you.